Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. A homicide investigation is underway in Sault Ste. Marie.
On Saturday evening, 911 communicators did receive a phone call of someone being injured in the 100 block of Poplar Avenue. Officers did respond. They found somebody suffering life-threatening injuries.
Few details are known as to what transpired over the weekend that left one person dead. Plus, garbage, violence, and drug paraphernalia.
They need somewhere to go. I don't know where that place can be. I don't really have any suggestions. I just don't want it behind our house.
A Timmins resident says an encampment behind her home has her worried about her safety. And on track and on time.
The North deserves and requires a passenger rail service.
The Northlander passenger rail service project reaches another milestone.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Ian is off. Details so far remain few and far between about Sault Ste. Marie's latest homicide. On Saturday, police were called over reports of a badly injured person that later passed away. CTV's Corey Nordstrom starts us off tonight.
Detectives with the Sault Ste. Marie Police are investigating after the city's third homicide of the year was reported over the weekend here on Poplar Avenue. Right now, there are few details that police representatives are able to give as the investigation is still in its early stages.
On Saturday evening, 911 communicators did receive a phone call of someone being injured in the 100 block of Poplar Avenue. Officers did respond. They found somebody suffering life-threatening injuries, and as you mentioned, they later succumbed to those injuries.
Things looked much different Sunday afternoon on Poplar Avenue as police taped off a large portion of the neighborhood to conduct their work, having now lifted the scene as the investigation continues. Police would not say the nature of the victim's injuries or where in the crime scene they were found by first responders. They did add that next of kin have been notified. Police are also requesting the community's assistance to help in the investigation.
We've put out a couple of pieces of information, and we are urging anybody that lives in the area or may have frequented the area on Saturday evening to, obviously check any video surveillance they may have or dash cam, or if they think they heard something, obviously to please contact us so detectives can follow up those leads.
Police officials say that in order to protect the integrity of the investigation, they cannot release additional details on the case, but hope that more information can be shared with the public in the following days. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
One person is dead and another injured following a rollover Sunday near Sundridge. A logging truck rolled over on the on-ramp to Highway 11 from Highway 124 early yesterday morning in Strong Township. The 7-year-old driver from Huntsville was transported to hospital and later pronounced dead. The passenger in the vehicle was also taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word yet on what may have caused the crash. Last week, there were 2 days in a row where alcohol was stolen from a gas station in Sudbury, where the youth suspects displayed what appeared to be guns. One store owner is speaking out, saying that repeat offenders are to blame. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Churchill Convenience, located on Bancroft Drive, is one of 3 locations Kalrav Barut owns in Sudbury. He says the store alone has experienced 10 alcohol thefts. The most recent, which happened last Thursday, involved 5 youths aged 15 and 16.
My employee tried to tell them that don't take our product, but the boys keep telling my employee that I will kill you, I will kill you. And he tried to go away to the door side just to leave them here. So that's why he showed him a handgun and the knife.
He says most of the theft involves underage individuals and that his store is not the only one experiencing this in the city.
We have the small store and we try to do our best to serve the community, and at the same time we are expecting that we're not getting this kind of the problem.
Terry Yaldo, chair of the Ontario Convenience Stores Association, says they have been fighting for 20 years to get alcohol sales into stores. And while he says theft has been on the rise, he doesn't believe alcohol in stores has sped that up in any way.
Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of our current justice system and allowing some of these repeat offenders to constantly, go through that revolving door. There's a lot of resources that go into catching them, the police having to do the report, going to court, and then all of a sudden, nothing is happening to deter them.
He says at the end of the day, this hurts everyone.
It's going to cost me and you money. And as a business owner, any single theft in my business comes out of my pay.
Both men say safety is definitely a concern in the industry, as many employees are working alone. Yaldo says he fears it may get to the point where someone loses their life, so he feels it's extremely important that we address this issue as a society. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
The city of Timmins is researching options for an encampment location, as one that's currently in a residential area is raising safety concerns. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
They're always screaming and yelling. They try to come in our yard. They try coming in our house.
The encampment behind Chastity Dugay's home on Spruce Street South makes her feel unsafe every day.
I got in a fist fight with a lady the other day because she was smoking crack in our yard, and we asked her if she could please leave, and I still have bruises.
Dugay says whenever she can't deal with a situation herself, she calls Timmins police and figures she's called at least 100 times for help.
They're usually here fairly quickly. It just depends how busy they are. They come when they can, and then they can arrest them, and then the people are out the next day. And then it's just the same thing.
A few weeks ago, Dugay says she wrote to the city to complain about the encampment, and it's finally getting some attention, such as on Friday. But she wants the encampment gone.
They need somewhere to go. I don't know where that place can be. I don't really have any suggestions. I just don't want it behind our house. We have little kids that live up the street.
Timmins councillor Bill Gazdanovich says the city is working on it.
I knew it was going to come back to one site, and that's what we're looking at doing. Now it's a matter of finding a place away from residential, and if they choose to have a tent or any kind of encampment, that's where they're going to go. If people don't want to stay in a shelter and they want to have a tent, they're not just going to put it wherever they feel like. Okay, we're going to decide where that's going to take place.
In the meantime, the city's hired security guards to patrol a 2-kilometer area around the encampment for a month.
There was 4 of them on the Monday because they're just, I think, getting familiar with everything and learning what they want them to report back. But I have seen them.
Council now waits for a report on potential locations for an encampment and on who owns the land where the encampment is situated. Living Space says the encampment area is a separate entity. However, it says its doors are always open to provide services to whomever wants to become a client. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Police are looking for witnesses after a hit and run in Doki's First Nation over the weekend. According to Anishinaabeg Police, a male on a motor-assisted bike was hit at Subdivision Road and Charlie's Bay Road sometime yesterday between the hours of 2 and 3 p.m. The victim was taken to hospital where he was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was last seen driving towards Main Street. The suspect is described as male with long hair, in his 20s. He had a female passenger and was driving a white, possibly Toyota, Honda, or Hyundai. The vehicle will have visible damage to the passenger side of the vehicle. There was damage reported at a cemetery in Bonfield. The township posted this photo to social media earlier this evening of the damaged fence at Mount Pleasant Cemetery. The post states the matter had been reported to provincial police. Anyone with information about the incident can report it to police or the township's office. Reports of gunshots in a North Bay apartment yesterday resulted in a heavy police presence on Rose Avenue. Police evacuated the building after receiving a call around 1 a.m. They searched the building and found no evidence of a firearm, and no arrests were made. Residents were finally cleared to return to their homes shortly after 5 p.m. An impaired driver was charged near Sturgeon Falls Saturday after hitting a dead moose. OPP were called to Highway 17 near Landfill Site Road after a commercial vehicle hit a moose. While the transport was pulled over, a woman in a passenger vehicle hit the dead moose, rolling her car over. The 43-year-old was treated for minor injuries, and police found the woman to be intoxicated. Fire crews in Sault Ste. Marie had a busy weekend battling 3 different blazes. One resulted in hospitalization and another has been deemed suspicious. The first was in the 300 block of Wellington Street East Saturday morning. No one was home and crews were able to contain and put out the fire. Just 5 hours later, crews were called to Sutton Place, where one person had to be taken to hospital after fire tore through the second story of their semi-detached home. The cause of the blaze has not been determined, and neither has the cause for a second house fire on Wellington Street East. This time in the 700 block early morning Sunday. Crews were called to the vacant home, also took considerable smoke and fire damage as a result of the blaze. Another milestone has been marked on the return of the passenger rail service to northeastern Ontario's corridor. CTV's Eric Tashner explains.
The new era of the Northlander.
Ontario Northland is eagerly waiting for the day it can say, all aboard.
The North deserves and requires a passenger rail service.
And as that day gets closer, work continues to chug along to restore passenger rail service to Northern Ontario. The North Bay Rail Bypass, a 982-metre section of track the Ontario government invested $5.7 million towards to complete, will improve travel times to the North Bay station by 15 minutes.
We need people to have viable alternatives to get to Toronto. Look at here in North Bay. We used to be 4 Air Canada flights a day. We are going to be 4 a week starting in November.
This track will ensure the soon-to-be new Northlander will avoid the busy North Bay rail yard and keep them clear of active CN, Ottawa Valley Railway, and Ontario Northland freight trains. Ontario Northland anticipates the approximate travel time, with regular stops included, will take between 4 and 5 hours.
We're on schedule and we're on budget.
The 3 new train sets are in the manufacturing stage. Ontario Northland is set to receive the first complete train set in early 2026. Then a series of tests and commissioning will take place. That's expected to take several months.
We run all the systems, the big ones like the locomotive, the brakes. We run the little ones like the coffee maker and the washrooms, and we make sure that it works.
Ontario Northland is still working on ticket prices and the arrival departure schedule for the 16-stop train service from Cochrane to Toronto. A fare strategy was submitted to the Ministry of Transportation for review.
Passengers in the north want an affordable service, an accessible service, and it's with those principles that we're going to price these tickets.
The Northlander revival is expected to create 80 new jobs, as getting it back on track remains a top priority. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
We haven't even officially hit fall season yet, but the city of Greater Sudbury is already planning ahead for winter weather. CTV's Angela Gemmel reports.
It won't be long before the first storm of the winter arrives, and the city will have its removal equipment out to clear snowfall from streets and sidewalks.
Calls I've been getting have been very supportive. People are understood, and they feel that their concerns have been met and have been addressed with this particular program.
The Operations Committee voted to extend a pilot project this winter that adds 3 seasonal employees to the existing 21 who will focus on sidewalk maintenance specifically. Sidewalks get plowed at 8 centimeters of new snow and are typically fully cleared within 24 hours of a storm. The extra staff means sidewalks can get a second pass through by sidewalk plows.
Although we are approving this, we will strive as best as we can to meet the expectations. We set a high expectation on clearing sidewalks after a snow event, but there may be times where, due to staff not being available, that some sidewalks may go longer than continuous clearing of sidewalks in some areas.
Last winter, 90 volunteers from across the city monitored sidewalk conditions following storms. That data was used to help staff.
If the bank has been knocked over by the street plow, that's additional plow, will go by and clear that to make it easier for people to pass. Clearing the ends of the intersections where, again, the street plow might have blocked off, that extra plow allows that to be cleared in a timely manner.
When the extra sidewalk pass goes through, the sidewalk conditions are better. The sidewalk conditions are better more frequently. People are able to use the sidewalk safely.
There are 364 kilometers of sidewalks that must be maintained in Greater Sudbury over the winter months. City staff will now prepare a business case for the 2026 budget that recommends the pilot project be turned into a permanent service level. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, there's definitely no winter weather out there yet, but speaking of, time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, we'll have your full weather forecast, but for now, a look at the current conditions around the region. It was a pretty mild day out there across our region. Clear skies for the most part across our region as well. 14 in Chapleau, cloudy skies in Sudbury and North Bay and Sault Ste. Marie. Your full forecast coming up next.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, we're coming off a great weekend and, of course, loads of sunshine, a bit of rain on Saturday evening, but that's okay. Yesterday was beautiful. We've got a couple of days of sunshine, slight chance of showers coming up. And then we've got more sunshine, so I'm sure you'll like that, but also some cooler weather in the forecast. System moving in by about Wednesday, and of course, slight chance of precipitation at 30%. Let's have a look now. Some of the numbers for the next 7 days. We've got sunshine for a couple of days here at 25, 26. As I mentioned, chance of showers Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sun and cloud all 3 days, 17, 18, and 19. Cooler at night, though. You're going down to 3 degrees overnight on Friday in Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, sunshine for a couple of days, 26, 24. Thursday, chance of showers at 21, then cooling down to 16 on Friday, 5 your overnight low. Saturday, sun and cloud, and Sunday with a chance of showers. Daytime highs 18 and 19, close to being normal for this time of the year. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, sunshine for Tuesday, Wednesday, 26, 27. Chance of showers on Thursday, 16, then dropping down to 14, only +1. Overnight on Friday, sun and cloud, of course, during the day, then cooling down. More sun and cloud Saturday, 18 and only 4 at night. Sunday, chance of showers at 30%, 19 your high. And, of course, 12 overnight with that combination of rain and a few sunny breaks in the forecast. And, of course, that weather ever changing at this time of the year for the area. So, again, it's going to start cooling down. It's that time of year as we approach the official start to fall. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, chance of showers on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We've got the chance, well, of some sun, some cloud, and 0 on Friday night overnight. So again, cooling down. Sunday, chance of showers, 30%, daytime high around 19, slightly above normal. Now North Bay, West Nipissing, sunshine for a couple of days. Thursday, chance of showers at 23. Then we've got sun and cloud 3 straight days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 17, 18, and 20. So, Amanda, we've got a mixed bag of weather. Some sun, chance of showers by Thursday. Back to sunny weather, but cooling down a bit. I'll throw things back to you.
Looks pretty good overall to me, Rick. Thanks for that. Work is underway on a new study by using Sudbury's Vertigo Risk Score. Researchers are hoping to create a reliable tool that improves patient care. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
The risk score provides questions for physicians to ask in order to determine the immediate risk of reported dizziness. Dr. Robert Ole is hoping to use Sudbury's Vertigo Risk Score to better understand quicker and convenient treatments for patients in emergency settings.
Dizziness is a really common complaint in the emergency department. And it's tough for emergency medicine physicians because we don't have great guidance on deciding of those patients that present who is suffering from a serious diagnosis and who is safe to be discharged home.
The Sudbury Vertigo Risk Score is currently being tested to validate the effectiveness for emergency physicians to identify high-risk dizziness patients. The funding is also improving NOSM students' learning about very common emergency department patients. Dr. Michael Green said in the release, when research teaching and clinical practice come together, patients, especially those in rural and northern communities, see the direct benefit. Dr. Ole says the data is important to Northern Ontario, as in Southern Ontario populations, referrals are more convenient than in the north.
Northern Ontario, patients oftentimes have to travel long distance to see specialists. So referring them to somebody has a big impact on the patient. So it's more important than ever for us to be able to accurately identify who actually needs to make that trip to see the neurologist, who needs to be transferred to a center to have advanced imaging.
According to HSN, most cases of dizziness are benign. However, some dizziness can be a sign of life-threatening conditions. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
The region's largest film festival is underway, and what a few days it's been. This was the scene on Saturday just ahead of the big gala premiere and opening of the festival. CTV News has been a proud sponsor of the event. Some 35,000 people will likely attend before it's over.
When I did my undergrad at Waterloo, there's the Princess Cinema with lots of repertory films and art films, and so this is a continuation of what I really love.
I'm a movie lover. I'm actually a filmmaker, and this is the biggest thing in town. It's nice to have because Sudbury, it's nice to have a little something of films all over the world in Sudbury because there's not too many opportunities to go see them.
I've been coming to Cinefest for over probably 30 years. I love it. I come every year. I just find it super, super fun. A lot of great people, a lot of great movies.
I've been coming since day one, and I do believe that was 37 years ago, and Elwie Yost came up to celebrate the start of the Sudbury Cinefest.
I've actually never been to Cinefest. I've been to Cineplex a number of times throughout my life, but I'm coming to Cinefest actually for a school project. I'm watching a French movie, but I was really interested to see that there was such a diverse amount of movies in different languages.
And we just wrapped up day 3 at Cinefest, and film buffs have gathered from across the region for yet another day of amazing cinema. A short film making its premiere tomorrow at Cinefest is hoping to spark some conversation. Not only is it multilingual, it's multicultural and set in a dystopian future. CTV's Ian Campbell reports.
The film is called Can You Feel It Now? To the film's creators, it's a poetry-driven exploration of memory, connection, and ancestral teachings. A retelling of voluntary contact between Black and Indigenous people, highlighting the story around the welcomer and the traveler.
Trying to make this a voluntary meeting of two peoples in a grander context of genocide, of violence, and of displacement.
Filmed entirely in Doquis and Nipissing First Nations, the team behind it are either from the north or at least have a connection to it. Having the film debut at Cinefest in Sudbury is a special homecoming of sorts.
To have it so close to home, you can have all of these conversations that exist, all the people that you know and that have seen you grown up come and support you, and for Rana as well, and for Isaac, it's really just beautiful to have our community at our disposal.
We kind of play around with this idea of solidarity between these two people.
The characters share their history, their culture through poetry. For the film's director, Isaac Valancourt, it's deeply personal.
With an experimental film like this, you have a lot more creative liberties. You could really play around with non-conventional storylines, and you could really be flexible with it. So it's also really unique.
The film is multilingual. Moviegoers will hear poetry in English, Anishinaabe-Moan, Uruba, Karindi, and Swahili. The film's creators say the blending between African and Indigenous languages was intentional. Everything is also subtitled.
It pushes people towards trying to imagine a future where we don't have to see the destruction, to see the resurgence of connection, of community, of these cultural conversations that really lead to a prosperous future.
Can You Feel It Now makes its world premiere tomorrow at 4 at Cinefest before carrying on in the film festival route. Ian Campbell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. The Sudbury Symphony Orchestra welcomes a new season. Finally for us tonight, the Sudbury Symphony Orchestra is busy preparing for a brand new season. This week, the Magical Symphony Tour takes the stage, an orchestral rendition of the Beatles' second album. Next month, the main stage concert of the season is Classical Mega Hits Volume 2. Both shows are led by conductor William Rowson, who says he's looking forward to an exciting season.
the great talent that is here in Sudbury. And in fact, last night we hosted community auditions for the first time in a long time here. And I was just blown away with some of the players that came out and auditioned. We'll have some new members of the orchestra that way and some new soloists.
The Magical Symphony Tour opens on Friday, and I'm sure it's going to be a great season. And that takes us to the end of our newscast this Monday night. Thanks for watching. Good night.